Hey everybody, welcome to the first episode of my podcast. And this podcast I'm creating because I feel like I need to do something to spread the Stoke. Stoke is something that's been around for as long as exciting, fun activities that push your limits and boundaries have been around. Skateboarding being one of those that really does that quite a lot. So yeah, this show is going to be about my experience in the longboard community, shredding with people, meeting people, sharing stories, going to events, experiencing really cool things on hills, seeing people push the sport and the elements of it, people who are rad that host events, people who are rad that skate, people who are rad that make media. Pretty much just gonna have a whole collection of the past, present, and future of skateboarding on a longboard or shortboard or wiggleboard, whatever. That's what it's all about. We're here to keep the torch lit. And I learned many years ago now that it's not something you're really given a choice in the matter of. Sometimes you just end up at a session and you see some things happen that just ignite your soul, and it catches a fire and there's nothing you can do about it. It just it takes you in and it doesn't let go. And you find yourself 10 years later making a podcast about it. So first things first, I want to give a shout out to some of the people who helped me out. First is Sapient Skateboards. Sapient Skateboards is a rad skateboard company born and bred in Chicago from the mind of my homie Will Steffen. He is probably well known for riding for Original Skateboards, being the team manager and do-it-aller at Original Skateboards. He was my roommate, and since parting with Original, he's made his own skateboard company called Sapient, and he makes really rad shit. Kind of like early Homo sapien days graphics that are inspired by just community and the power of people that bring people together through skating. And who doesn't love that? Second, I want to give a shout out to Comet Skateboards. They make rad shit. This is their new Comet Orbiter. It comes paired with Rogue Slalom V2 precision trucks, Harry Clark Pro Model Venom Magnums, a cool footstop, Zealous bearings, and has this cool red gold colorway, which I'm really into, and comes also with a nice torque block and some 60 grit super coarse grip tape. And then one more shout out, because he's the homie and is really a part of this episode and a big part. That's Ted Wheeler, the mayor of Portland. No, I'm just kidding. It's Bonzing. Austin Graziano has been making Bonzing skateboards for years now. This is their Diet Fatty, which is a super rad skateboard. I highly recommend trying it out. Boards that were made for artists and for skaters like you and for people in general to have a rad time and explore their environment on in every way, shape, and form you can think about. So let's get started. I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys a little briefing on this episode and what it's about. So today I'm gonna talk about the first time that I bathed in the fires of Stokedom. I am a firm believer in Stoke and think that I have had an incredible opportunity in life that it was just right time, right place, and now I'm just coated in the sauce and I can't get rid of it, and I want to pass it on to you guys. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and talk about my first time finding out what it was all about. So backtrack to 2013. I am a junior at Humboldt State University, smoking the best chronic the world had to offer. Me and my buddy Brandon Kuhn were just, doing the college thing, getting into skateboarding, trying to bomb some hills after work, play some disc golf, drink some beers, smoke some weed, go to parties. It was a good time. But Brandon was a little bit more into it than I'd ever seen anybody be into skateboarding. He bled, breathed, and birthed the shit out of it. Every day he'd be cruising around on his loaded dervish with his orangutan wheels, just talking about how epic skateboarding was. And he kept talking about this crew of people called the Sunset Sliders. Now, at first, I didn't really think anything of it. Cool, a name, a word, people I don't know, I have no association with. What do I got to do about it? Well, he wouldn't have that. He was trying to get me into skating, and I myself bought a loaded dervish. That was my first board, and threw down some Randall 2s and ABEC 11 flashbacks from Daddy's board shop. He helped me pick it out, and I was cruising around, bombing some hills without a helmet and no gloves like a kook, and just having a real good time, but not really taking it too seriously. You know, it wasn't like a thing for me. It was just something to do, a fun way to get around campus, you know, cruising, good times. But one day, my buddy Brandon, from here forth now, we will call him Sasquatch because that's his nickname, and we will also refer to Humble as the Great White North. He invited me to go down to San Francisco for a little trip to skate with some of his friends, also known as the Sunset Sliders. So I didn't really have anything going on, and I decided, you know what, I'm gonna do it. Fuck it, let's go to San Francisco. I've only been there once when I was a kid. I went there on some sort of orchestra trip and got to see like Ghirardelli Square and Pier 39 and all that shit, barking sea lions. Good times, but that's not the point. The point is, me and Brandon went down to San Francisco, and we went to a area in the city called the Sunset District. Now, if any of you guys know, the Sunset District is a haven for downhill skateboarding. A lot of people have been shooting videos there, skating driveways and hills since, God, I don't know, probably 2003, 2004. We ended up staying at my homie, who I then didn't know, Chad Lybrand and John Bridenbeck's house, also known as Ragnar Thorfast and John the Gloveless. Now, this house was pretty much a basement in the bottom level of a house with concrete floors on like 58th and Noriega, pretty close to the beach. But I didn't care. Hell, we were in San Francisco. I was there to have a good time. I had my skateboard with me. It was gonna be sick, and it was. We shot the shit. I walked in, and then I see this dude sitting at a table, and he's just giving me kind of a weird look, talking to Brandon. They're shooting the shit. I'm just kind of paying attention, not really saying much, kind of fly on the wall kind of thing. And I hear this dude's name is Dead Fred. And suddenly they start talking in gibberish when I don't know what the hell they're saying. They're saying something about straight eggs and rice and all this shit that made no sense to me at the time. But it was funny, you know, they were funny people, having a good conversation, jiving and shit. So later on, the next day, we wake up, go up the block about 25, 30 blocks to Big Dave's house. And I walk in there, and there's just a whole horde of people. Like, Fred's on the grill cooking eggs for everybody. People are passing out trolley bright eggs, saying, "Straight eggs, son." I'll put my hand out. Someone throws some fucking trolley eggs in my hand. I sit on the couch. Someone hands me a bong. These people are good people. I don't know them at all. They don't know me at all, but they're giving me everything they have, and it's fucking sick. That's when Big Dave sits everyone down, and like a camp counselor that he is, gets everyone in the room to be quiet and pay attention, because he's got something to say. Now, word on the street was that a rider from Otang, Orangutan Wheels, came into the Sunset District and, without permission or asking at all, shredded all the local hills and filmed all the spots and put out a video of this dude shredding this hill. I think it was Ethan Cochard. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it's all good. It's in the past. It was sick. Epic skating. But the Sunset Sliders took problem with that. Now, they were kind of pissed that this dude had come into the town, thrown down on all their hills after getting the locations of said hills, and from them, mind you, and they were just getting kind of irritated that this is bullshit. Like, you don't come into someone's town and film on all their local hits without permission and then just make your shit happen, you know? So they wanted to do something. They wanted to have basically like a comeback payback video showing this is how you really skate the sunset. So their idea was to get 30-something skaters all together, shredding the hills, shredding the same runs that he was doing in that video, and just destroying shit with like 30 people at the same time. Now, I had no idea at the time they were actually going to pull it off, but everyone was down. They were talking about music selection. They were talking about how they were going to do things. They said, we got a camera. Doug York, Sir Doug Fresh, is filmed. Oh, sorry. I'll drink some Screwball peanut butter whiskey. Keep that shit down so I can keep talking. Sir Dougie Fresh was on the camera. Big Dave was on the camera. And shit, I was a film student in college, so I brought my camera too. And I was like, hey, I'm here to film. And they're like, okay, cool, you're in. So we hit the hills. We join all together in a bus. And this is not just any bus. This is the Sliders bus, the scholarship. A bus painted with tree frogs, squids, magical creatures of all shapes and sizes, and it's decked out. We all cram in the bus, like 30 people, and drive up to the very tippy top of the Sunset District, also known as Quintara. Now, we get out the bus. Everyone is just like kind of like mingling. People are getting ready. And this is, I think, when it started. This is the time that I looked into the fiery pool of Stoke. And without having any kind of knowledge of what was about to happen, I was bathed in it for life. And it has since become a part of my very soul. And I hope to pass it on to all of you in some way, shape, or form. But what happened next was extraordinary. I'll post a link of the video in the description below. Afterwards, you can check it out. But pretty much 30-something skaters, all decked out in slide gloves, helmets, not many people wearing pads. They just started busting down the hill. And this was a steep fucking hill. They all skated down at the same freaking time. God damn. Everyone was just moshing this hill, busting out slides never seen before, skating with such style and grace, all together within like 15 feet of each other. Chad ate shit. He got up, shrugged it off. Adrian DeKine was shredding. John the Gloveless was shredding. Gabe the Goob was shredding. Henry Jones was there in his big ass skeleton head. Nick the Pirate, Dead Fred, AFB, Josh Torres. The list goes on and on and on. These are all some of the best skaters I've ever seen in my life. And they're all just like bow, 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 one after another, just like hitting it. Toe side, switch toe, giant ass squatter. Oh, Casey Morrow was there. Hell yeah. Fuck yeah, Casey. He was there doing blunt slides on a double kick. People were slapping their boards on the ground, hooting and hollering. Ford was there doing big ass pooper slides. It was unreal. It was unlike anything I've ever seen before. And it was overwhelming. It was something that I had never in my life thought I'd see, and was just getting consistently just jammed into my brain, just like, oh, that was insane. Oh, that was insane. Oh, that was insane. Over and over and over and over again, just things I'd never seen that blew my mind. Like, I'm sure we've all been there. We've all been hanging out with friends, jumping on a trampoline, playing tag, drinking, playing beer pong, running from the police, I don't know. That one thing that just made you go like, wow, that was insane. I'm really, really bonded to you guys now. Well, this is happening. It was happening right there, and it was happening hard and fast and super styly. Everyone was killing it, doing crazy shit, and I didn't even know what the fuck to do. I was just there with my camera just pointing it at people like, whoa, holy shit, whoa, goddamn. I didn't even know what to say. I was complete loss for words. So yeah, that was the video that later became the Wheelbase Mag episode 4. I Left My Heart in San Francisco series featuring the Sunset Sliders. Go check it out. I'll put a link in the description below as well for the whole series. And later that night, after all the skating was said and done and everyone had thrown down shit that I didn't even think was possible, like, we might as well have been filming like a fucking pro skaters video part, but throw like 30 pro skaters into the mix at the same time and have everyone's video part be the same video part. It's crazy. Concrete Wave, the magazine, was having a magazine party at a skate shop called the Purple Skunk in San Francisco. So we all went to this party, and you know, we're just shooting the shit about the things that were happening, the times, people who were killing it on skateboards, videos that they saw, things they wanted to try, skate events they wanted to go to, skate events they had been to. Just like everybody was just sharing their stoke, passing it from one to the other, just like you would pass a blunt, you know, or throw a beer at somebody, or I don't know, fucking play someone in video games, or do someone's hair. I don't know, whatever you vibe with. It was on that level, and it was so good and so potent, and it was unlike anything I've ever seen. So the moral of the story is, this is something that has been passed on from generation to generation. This is not something that was created right here and then on that day. Everyone who had been there had had the same experience that I had at some point. And those people got it from someone else who had had the same experience at some point. And so on and so forth. And I think that this was the original source. This was like the pure root source of Stoke. And I had the pleasure and exhilarating experience to actually have that touch me. And now, 10 years later, I'm, so to speak, lost in the sauce. And you know, it's like sitting in front of a fire, or like by a bonfire. Like, you don't want to walk away from it. It's cold everywhere else. It's warming you up. It's keeping you warm. Like, it's not something you can really walk away from, you know? So yeah, that brings me to my next talking point. Those that came before you. Now, in these days and times, it's kind of hard to look at people and try to get some sort of like tutorship or tutelage and get that same stoke. The longboarding scene, for all intents and purposes, has really kind of mellowed out, and the light and the fire is really small. There are some events that still go on. Maryhill, Kozakov, Giant's Head. Yeah, I mean, anything that you could have been to and felt that, I feel that it's, if you can take it upon yourself and do your part, and if you have it within you to do so, I feel like you're obligated to put that stoke into something and create something for other people to experience it. It can't die with us. We need to pass it on. And it's up to us, you know? Like, shit, I'm 31 years old. I've been in the skate community for 10 years. At first, I was just a kook, kooking it up, no helmet, bombing a hill. Then I started skating with the Sunset Sliders. I moved to San Francisco. I wanted to be a part of that. I went to Mir Skate's Downhill Disco. I went to Giant's Head Freeride. I went to Cathlamet Corral. All these events were just a passion project. There was so much love in them, and you could just feel it. Like that, a group of people brought such a intimate and epic and joyful experience for all these people to enjoy on their skateboards that you're never going to forget. It's going to be with you for the rest of your life, and it's going to shape who you are. And I want to live up to that. And I think it's up to all of us to try and spread that so that it can stay alive and keep burning and start new events and keep that passion and that fire lit so that everybody can chase that stoke and dream and just you know, feel that raw energy that is just undescribable and makes life just like a complete, utter, unpredictable mess of chaos and exhilaration and love and stoke, you know? So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna try to do that with this podcast and tell you guys some of the things that I've seen, and maybe have some other people on to talk with them about what they've seen, and, you know, show some videos that I think incorporate that element as good as it can be. And hopefully this will light a fire for all of y'all to just experience that and want to, you know? Like, if you have a friend who you can feel that needs to be abducted and spirited away to some skate event to experience that, like Sasquatch did for me, then take it upon yourself to do that. Help your friend experience that, because that random dude who you think may not shred or is kind of a kook, he could turn out like me, who's just in it for life and wants to bring stoke and energy and experiences and events to other people. And you know, a little bit of I guess what I'm trying to say is a little bit of effort goes a long way, and you never know what's going to happen, you know? So do it. What are you waiting for? Invite that homie out to skate. Get someone into it. Show somebody some sick fucking tricks that you can do so that they get more hyped on skating. Don't let them be discouraged. Keep it positive. Make them appreciate the opportunity that has been given to them to experience something raw and just so right, you know? And, you know, I'm just a dude who cares to just let everybody have a good time and not keep that shit away from anybody. Everyone deserves to have some fun. And this is the fire that I feel like the original Pool of Stoke has stoked within me. And I gotta say, if it wasn't for Sasquatch and the Sunset Sliders, shit, I don't know what the fuck I'd be doing. But hey, here I am in Portland, rain skating my face off on a cruiser board. Check out that video, link in the description below. And yeah, I'm really excited to take you guys on some adventures and some stories of more events. We've got more to come. I mean, I don't know. What do you guys want to hear about? I got Mary Hill free rides, Giant's Head excursions from Idaho to Canada and back, the San Diego Mirror Skate Downhill Disco, the Cathlamet Corral, the last Cathlamet Corral, and hell, maybe I'll make a podcast going over a really sick event that I'm going to bring to you guys. Who knows? All I know is we're in the right place at the right time with the right people. So thanks for tuning in. This has been Shredthology, episode 1. And yeah, check out those videos in the links below. Check out Sapient Skateboards, Comet Skateboards, and Bonzing Skateboards. And yo, it's all for fun. We're all here to laugh and have a good time. You know, there's no need to be pessimistic or add any negativity to the mix. So just keep your eyes high, keep your chest out, and have a great fucking time on your skateboard, all right? Peace.